start an emergency fund. Picture this. It's 3 a.m. Your car won't start. Your phone screen is cracked. Rent is due in 5 days. And your bank account is basically empty. What do? Life hits hard, and usually when you least expect it. That's why having an emergency fund is one of the most important financial decisions you can make, no matter your income, lifestyle, or goals. In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to build an emergency fund from scratch, even if you're living paycheck to paycheck or feel like saving is impossible. We'll go step by step, how much you really need, where to keep it, and how to save without feeling the pinch. Stick around to the end where I'll share a real case study of someone who used their emergency fund to avoid disaster, and how they built it back better. This isn't just about money. It's about control. It's about freedom. And it starts with a single dollar. What is an emergency fund? An emergency fund is a stash of money you set aside specifically for unexpected, urgent expenses, the kind that come out of nowhere and can't be delayed. Think of it as your personal safety net. It's not for fun, not for shopping, and definitely not for splurges. It's for when life hits hard. Examples of real emergencies: these are the kinds of situations where having cash on hand can save you from debt, stress, or worse, sudden job loss. You lose your main source of income and need time to find another. Car repair, your transmission fails or your brakes give out and you can't get to work. Medical emergency, a trip to the ER, surgery, or an urgent dental procedure. Home repair, your heater dies in the middle of winter, or a pipe bursts and floods your apartment. In these moments, you can't just wait for your next paycheck. You need money, immediately. That's what your emergency fund is for. What doesn't count as an emergency? It's important to draw a line between real emergencies and wants that just feel urgent. A vacation or weekend getaway, upgrading to the newest iPhone, holiday shopping or birthday gifts, buying concert tickets or new clothes. These might feel important in the moment, but they're not emergencies. They're lifestyle choices, and they should be saved for separately. Liquidity equals key. Your emergency fund needs to be liquid, meaning the money is easily accessible when you need it. This isn't money you invest in the stock market or lock into a certificate of deposit. You want it in a place where you can grab it fast, like a high-yield savings account or a simple money market account. Simple analogy: think of it like a fire extinguisher. You hope you'll never need it, but when the flames start, you're grateful it's there. Why do you need one? Life is unpredictable. Over 60% of people can't afford a $1,000 emergency. Without an emergency fund, you're forced to take on credit card debt, drain retirement savings, borrow from friends and family. It keeps your goals on track. You don't have to pause investing or saving for big life moments. How much should you save? Starter goal: $500 to $1,000 for absolute beginners. Long-term goal: 3 to 6 months of essential expenses, not your full income. Essentials equals rent, food, utilities, insurance, transportation, minimum debt payments. Not a one-size-fits-all. Single person with no dependents versus parent with 2 kids equals different needs. Where to keep your emergency fund? Best option: high-yield savings account, earns interest, better than regular savings, still accessible within 1 to 3 days. Separate from your checking account equals less temptation. Avoid checking account, too easy to spend. Stocks or crypto, too risky, not liquid. Optional mention: some people use money market accounts or cash management accounts. How to build one, step-by-step plan. Step 1. Set a realistic initial goal. Start with $100, then $500, then $1,000. Celebrate small wins. Momentum matters. Step 2. Know your essential expenses. Track 1 to 3 months of necessary expenses. Use a budget app or spreadsheet. Step 3. open a separate savings account, preferably with a different bank from your checking account. Step 4. Automate your savings. Even $5 per day equals $150 per month. Use auto transfers on payday. Step 5. Cut unnecessary spending. Temporarily, examples, cancel and use subscriptions, eat out less, pause big purchases. Step 6. Use windfalls wisely, tax refund, bonuses, cash gifts, great ways to jumpstart your fund. Step 7. Track progress. Use a savings tracker or thermometer graphic to stay motivated, when to use it, and when not to. Use only for true emergencies. Example, you lose your job, this is exactly when to use it, don't feel guilty using it. That's its purpose. After you use it, refill it ASAP. Pro tip: set up invisible saving. Alright, here's a pro tip that can seriously change your financial life, and you won't even feel it happening. It's called invisible saving. And the concept is simple. You automate your savings so that the money is transferred out of your account before you ever get the chance to spend it. How it works: right after payday, the same day your paycheck hits, set up a recurring transfer from your checking account to your emergency fund. It doesn't need to be a huge amount. Even $25 per week adds up to $1,300 a year, and that's without lifting a finger after the first setup. If $25 feels like too much, start with $10, $5, even $1 a day is a step in the right direction. Why it works: this strategy works because you're removing the temptation. You don't wait until the end of the month to see what's left over, because let's be real, there usually isn't anything left over. Instead, you're paying your emergency fund first, just like you would a bill. Think of it as your safety bill, non-negotiable, automatic, and essential. Over time, you won't even notice that money being gone. But trust me, future you will definitely notice when it's there in a crisis. Mental trick: rename your account, name your savings account something meaningful, like Peace of Mind Fund, Break Glass in Case of Emergency, Freedom Fund. This creates a psychological barrier. It reminds you that this money has a purpose. And it's not for everyday spending. Final thought: invisible saving is powerful because it doesn't rely on motivation or discipline, it relies on systems, and systems beat willpower every time. Call to action: now that you know how to start your emergency fund, what's your first savings goal? Drop it in the comments. Case Study 1: Sarah's emergency fund saved her career. Let me tell you about Sarah, a 29-year-old freelance graphic designer from Chicago. Just last year, everything was going great. She had steady clients, a few thousand followers on Instagram, and had just moved into her dream apartment. Then, out of nowhere, boom. Her laptop completely died. No warning. No backups. She relied on it for everything: income, projects, client files. Total cost to replace and recover data: over $2,000. But here's the thing: 6 months earlier, Sarah had started a simple savings challenge. $50 per week, automated into a separate account she barely checked. She called it her just-in-case fund. When disaster struck, she had over $1,300 ready to go. It didn't cover everything, but it bought her time. She was able to rent a temporary laptop, keep working, and avoid putting the entire $2 on a high-interest credit card. That fund saved her career. The best part: she wasn't making 6 figures. She wasn't a financial expert. She just set up a small system that protected her from a big problem. Moral of the story: you don't need to be rich to have an emergency fund. But you do need one if you want to stay on track when life happens. Case Study 2: Jamal's $800 emergency prevented $3,000 in debt. Let me introduce you to Jamal, a 35-year-old delivery driver living in Dallas, Texas. He's a husband, a father of 2 young kids, and the kind of guy who never complains, just keeps going, no matter what. Now Jamal's not rich. He's not an investor. He doesn't spend his weekends reading finance blogs. But a year ago, something clicked. After his second child was born, money started getting tighter. Diapers, doctor visits, daycare, it was all piling up. That's when he decided to start setting a little money aside, just $20 or $30 a week, into what he called his rainy day stash. No fancy app. No big financial plan. Just consistent saving. Slow and steady. Then one Tuesday morning, Jamal woke up in serious pain. At first, he thought it was food poisoning. But by Wednesday night, he couldn't stand upright. His wife rushed him to the ER. He was diagnosed with acute appendicitis. Emergency surgery. No warning. The financial fallout, even with decent health insurance through his employer, Jamal was hit with a bunch of out-of-pocket costs: $250 ER copay, $500 deductible, $100 in prescriptions, lost 3 days of work equals $400 in missed income, total over $1,200. A year earlier, that bill would have been devastating. He would have had to choose between rent and recovery. Or max out his credit card and live with the stress of interest piling up. But this time, he was ready. Thanks to that slow and steady saving, just $30 a week, Jamal had built up $850 in a separate high-yield savings account. It didn't cover the whole emergency, but it covered enough. He didn't go into debt. He didn't borrow from friends or family. He didn't panic. Instead, he focused on healing, and being present for his kids. When I asked Jamal how it felt, he said something that stuck with me: it felt like past me had my back. Like I left myself a gift, just in case things went sideways. Takeaway message: Jamal's story isn't about luck. It's about preparation. He didn't make 6 figures. He didn't have a financial advisor. He just built a small, consistent habit, and it paid off in a big way. That's the power of an emergency fund. You don't need to be rich to start one. But you do need to start, before life gives you a reason to wish you had. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope this helped you understand how to start your emergency fund and why it's one of the most important things you can do for your financial future. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend who needs to hear this, and of course, subscribe to the channel so you never miss a new tip. Until next time, stay focused, stay prepared, and take care of your future self.